The Zyral Dominion had ruled the Perseus Arm for millennia. Their fleets patrolled the void with gold-plated arrogance. Their vassals bowed with fear and obedience. When they found Earth's colonies spreading quietly along the Orion Spur, small, industrious, and unaligned, they saw only another subject to extort. Their warships descended upon New Kyoto, a peaceful frontier world wrapped in green oceans and silver cloud. It was humanity's pride, its art, culture, and technology intertwined into a planet that symbolized peace. The Zarel flagship, Imperator's Gaze, broadcast the message to all, humans of Sol, hissed High Executor Varn Ka, his scaled lips curling in disdain. You stand upon Dominion soil. You will render tribute, vessels, ore, and your labor, or be purified. We require 10 million of your kind for servitude. Your compliance ensures mercy. On the planet below, civilians watched as Zyrel plasma beams cut through their skies, burning the orbital docks. Shuttles disintegrated mid-flight, screams echoing through comms. Governor Aisha Chen sent a single transmission before the comms went dark. To Earth Command, they are taking us, and then silence. The Zyral erased New Kyoto in 6 minutes. The invaders didn't conquer. They didn't enslave. They demonstrated. Later in the stars across Dominion space, the act became legend. Zyrel nobles toasted in crystalline halls, gloating at their effortless domination. In their archives, humanity was listed as primitive bipedal trade species, soft, unwarlike. Their ambassadors mocked the Terran Council at every opportunity. Your colony resisted? How quaint. Perhaps your species requires supervision. The Dominion offers employment for your displaced survivors. In the Zyral War Academies, instructors used the destruction of New Kyoto as an example of efficient subjugation. Humans, they said, possess courage but no claws. Weeks passed. No retaliation, months, still nothing. The Zyral grew smug. They believed Earth's silence was submission, proof that humanity understood its place, that the Terrans would beg for mercy or sign treaties of obedience. High Executor Varn Ka himself laughed during an audience with the Dominion Council. They send no fleets, he said. No vengeance. Their silence is gratitude. And across the Empire, the phrase spread like mockery on the wind. The humans do not roar. They kneel. The quiet before the storm. But Earth was not silent. Earth was listening. The Terran defense network went dark, not in defeat, but in preparation. From the icy vaults beneath Luna to the forges of Mars, production lines reactivated under sealed orders. The United Earth Command convened in orbit around Titan, in a station whose existence even their allies did not know. There, men and women who remembered the burning of New Kyoto stood in a ring of light. Admiral Rhea Solon, commanding officer of the Terran Armada, broke the silence. They think our silence is fear, she said, but fear is their privilege. We've been patient. Now we answer. Project Retribution was authorized, and the stars began to move. Cargo convoys disappeared from civilian routes, replaced by empty lanes and encrypted transmissions. Shipyards blacked out their beacons. Observers from other species reported nothing unusual, until deep space sensors began to fail. In the void beyond Pluto, the Nova Doctrine fleet was born. 1,000 dreadnoughts without markings, their hulls black as gravity. Each ship carried more firepower than the entire Zyrel Third Armada. Their engines ran silent, wrapped in cloaked grav fields. No broadcasts, no threats, only the dark, slow pulse of war awakening. The eyes of arrogance. When the first Terran transmission arrived, it wasn't to negotiate. It wasn't even to warn. It came as a simple message, transmitted directly to Zyral Command and repeated across Dominion space. For New Kyoto. At first, the Zyral didn't understand. Then they saw the footage. Zyral outposts along the outer verge burned. 7 in one night. The attack was surgical. Terran vessels, invisible to sensors, materialized inside defense perimeters and unleashed weapons the Dominion had never catalogued. Rods of tungsten accelerated to fractions of light speed, piercing cities before alarms could sound. Whole continents were vaporized. Zyral fleets scrambled to respond, only to find their warp gates offline, hijacked by human code. The Zyral Navy chief demanded explanations. His words were recorded before his ship was incinerated mid-sentence. This is impossible. Their species. Static. Primitive. How? Signal lost. The Dominion panicked. And still, Earth said nothing. The stars caught fire. When retaliation finally came in full, it was not a war. It was a reckoning. The Terran retribution fleets appeared without warning. One moment, the Zerel home sectors were serene. The next, thousands of sensor contacts filled their skies. Each human vessel carried the mark of silent fury, names etched like curses on their hulls. Vengeance Dawn, Kyoto's Ghost, Sol's Spear, Ashes Returned. Human voices filled open channels, calm and cold. This broadcast is addressed to the Zyrel Dominion. You demanded tribute. You will receive it, in fire. And then the void burned. Missiles crossed light minutes in seconds. Plasma arcs lanced through moons. Orbital stations disintegrated before they could even hail distress. Terran ground units deployed on captured Zerel worlds, their exo-armor walking through storms of laser fire like gods of war. Civilians fled into tunnels, only to find Earth drones already there, silent, hovering, scanning, then moving on. Humanity wasn't killing indiscriminately. They were dismantling an empire. The Zyrel tried to regroup. They summoned fleets from the inner worlds. Billions of tons of warships gathering to crush the humans. But when they arrived, they found only debris, and the human fleet behind them. The Terran dreadnoughts opened fire simultaneously, their broadside arcs so massive they illuminated entire planetary hemispheres. Sensors blinded, comms jammed, ships ruptured like paper. It wasn't war. It was punishment. The gods that roared on the Zerel capital world, Zirath Prime, the Dominion Council gathered in panic. Their orbital defense array, 50,000 cannons, had been their pride. Each cannon could annihilate a mountain. Now they turned upward, firing blindly into the void, desperate to stop the approaching human fleet. They never stood a chance. When the Terran flagship Helios Ascendant entered orbit, its silhouette eclipsed the system's star. Human generals gave no speeches, no ultimatums. They simply executed the command that had echoed since New Kyoto's fall: return the fire. The bombardment lasted 20 minutes. When it ended, Zirath Prime no longer rotated. Its crust had liquefied. The atmosphere boiled away into glass and ash. The Zerel Emperor's final broadcast was a single line: they are monsters, clothed in mercy. The last light in the aftermath. The galaxy stood still. The Zerel Dominion, once rulers of 5,000 systems, was erased in 39 hours. No one came to their defense. On every major world, alien governments fell silent. Trade routes halted. Armadas that once looked down upon humanity now diverted their fleets away from Sol. The Galactic Council convened in emergency session. Their representative from the Sarathi Collective asked quietly, "What remains of Earth's fleets?" The answer chilled the chamber. 80% remain operational. No one spoke for a long time. When humanity finally transmitted another message to the galaxy, it was a brief statement. No triumph, no malice. Let this stand as our only warning. We sought peace. You brought war. We have answered. Do not ask again. Then the transmission ceased. Echoes in the void years later. The Zyrel ruins remained untouched. No scavengers dared approach. Their systems glowed faintly red at night, irradiated and haunted. Among traders and mercenaries, a whisper spread: never provoke Earth. Alien scholars wrote about the event as the Fire of Retribution, though none agreed on its exact sequence. Some said humanity used weapons that bent space-time. Others claimed the Terrans commanded artificial suns. A few swore that the humans had become something else entirely, no longer conquerors, but cosmic judges. In deep space, lone transmitters still repeated the words that began it all: for New Kyoto. And though humanity withdrew behind its borders, the galaxy never forgot. Because it wasn't the fire that terrified them. It was the silence that came after. The lesson of Ashes centuries later. The story of the Zyrel Dominion was forbidden in most alien academies. Their worlds became restricted zones. Pilgrims came to orbit the dead system, staring down at the molten scars that once held cities. They said the light patterns still resembled Terran letters, burned into the crust like a curse. Historians debated what drove humanity to such fury. Some said vengeance, others said justice. But the veterans of that war, the few human commanders who survived, knew the truth. It wasn't rage that guided them. It was duty. Humanity's creed had always been simple: protect our own. Answer cruelty in kind. Never again let another burn our world without consequence. The Zyrel learned that creed in their final moments, and the rest of the galaxy learned to fear the quiet. For in that quiet, Earth watched. Epilogue. The New Ordera. 1,000 years later, Humanity's empire spans hundreds of systems, but it does not rule through fear. It rules through the memory of that day, the day when arrogance demanded tribute and got fire instead. Children across alien worlds study the event as the turning point of civilization. And on the anniversary of New Kyoto's fall, every Terran ship observes a single minute of silence. No engines, no transmissions, no movement. Because silence to humanity is sacred. It was once mistaken for fear. Now the galaxy knows better.